Okay, so STFC compared to the rest of the Star Treks, I believe we're facing, me and other people believe we're facing a dissolution problem with all the new Star Trek shows coming out. And, should producers stick to quality over quantity? I mean, that is a huge issue we have right now. So, I'm grateful for all these Star Trek shows, coming out over the past couple of years. However, should producers be prioritizing certain TV shows, certain Star Trek TV shows over others? Now, this is a huge one, and quite frankly, we all experienced this when Picard came out. Picard was a huge deal, and to be quite honest, lots of people loved it, but a lot of people hated it too. And some people feel that, Discovery had more of a bigger budget than Picard. And this is a huge issue and it's a huge deal. And, should they be given priority? Should Picard be given priority over Discovery? Vice versa? I don't know. Producers make these shows because they truly love and care and understand the shows for themselves and the fans. And the same can be said for the game designers in Star Trek Fleet Command. Now, it's a huge issue, it's a huge deal, and, stick with me here because I'm going to kind of explain a little bit about this. Okay, so next we have kind of, the production quality side of things. I don't know, these 2 seasons of Discovery and this 1 season of Picard, pretty flawless in production quality. I have to say, the CGI battles, they were way ahead of their time, especially with those, in Discovery with those Klingon and Starfleet ships. So if you compare this to Picard, when Picard's ship, it didn't, I don't know, I feel like it was a very copy and paste kind of job, which is definitely one way to look at it. They definitely did not do that in Discovery. Discovery, and even for Star Trek Fleet Command, it doesn't have the same kind of copy-paste kind of feel. Basically, Discovery had all these new ideas in it, and Picard kind of felt like copy-paste kind of deal. So, what do you think? Do you think that Picard was kind of copy and paste? Do you think STFC was kind of copy and paste? I think, Star Trek Fleet Command has a lot of interest in ships. So they're kind of less on the copy and paste kind of deal, I feel. Especially with all these other ships. Take a look here, all these other ships. Look at this. The whole array of ships we have here, definitely not a copy and paste job. The Horizon North Star. I'm not going to say anything about the Horizon North Star, but you know what I'm on about. So the game designers in STFC do make a huge deal out of everything, and they really do. It's a huge deal, a huge amount of money which they put into STFC, and so do the players too. They deserve a bit of credit too. The next issue we have is, are there too many cooks in the kitchen? Now, my opinion is, especially on these new types of shows, there can be a whole bunch of people, producers, game designers who are, making all this stuff. I don't know if you've ever seen the credits for STFC, but there's a lot of game designers working on this, and for good reason too. Because it takes a lot of, creativity and hard work to create all these ships and systems, etc. And there's a lot of priorities going on, but, on these shows like Picard, there's a lot of producers too. And did that kind of dilute kind of the elements of Picard that we see in today's landscape? I think it is entirely possible. I don't know, the past 2 seasons of Discovery, there was a lot more creative freedom, I think, than Picard. I think with STFC, there's a lot more creative freedom because they don't have to stick to many of the canon elements per se, which is pretty important. So that's definitely one thing. And I mean, yeah, like every story, I mean, they have writers on STFC and they have writers on Picard, on Discovery. Everyone has their own opinions, right? Like they have their own opinions, and quite frankly, like, who am I to judge? I'm not any person to judge. So this is a huge thing, which is really important, but it's a huge important thing to a lot of players too. So yeah, I mean, are there too many cooks in the kitchen? I don't know. Like the ending of Next Generation, great. Ending of DS9, great. The current ending of Season 2 of Discovery was great. But STFC, like in STFC's defense, the story just continues. It just continues going on. There is no end in sight for STFC because it's a game. And I'm glad of that. Like, I'm super glad that that is continuing to go on, ongoing. And kudos to the game designers for that. So, I mean, yeah, like... So, I mean, what is the basic thing we have going on here? So, you know, I think we'll see more production quality coming in from both Scopely and the producers working on Star Trek. I believe so. I think as time goes on, people are beginning to see television and games are really going a long way forward in building a successful brand. And I don't see that ever happening with film. Like, film is for the present, but TV, games, STFC, Discovery, Picard, they're for the future. But at the same time, you know, it's all up to the audience to demand what they want to see on social media and, of course, Discord. And yeah, that's pretty much my 10 cents. So, I mean, hope you have a good one, guys. I'm going to continue doing this Armada here, hoping for a decent score.